Hey everybody, it's Kevin. Today's Monday, the 13th of April 2021, and it's good to be here. It's good to have you with me. If you're tuned in live, fantastic. If you're catching this on the replay, fantastic too. I've got some great messages for you today. And really, I'm just going to jump right in and say that the theme of today's um, message is basically love. So two cards popped out. I always pull one for myself because I want to know who's with me today and who's around me always and who's here to light the fire up. And it is our friend, Archangel Azrael. So thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through all these changes. Azrael works with the Archangel Metatron, and also all the light workers are wanting to open that line of communication with spirit. It's no accident that any of us find ourselves tuned in, switched on, tapped into the greatest flow there is. And when that happens, and you give thanks for angels, entities, ascended masters, spirit guides, the loved ones who've passed over, there basically is a signal to all of those energies who still want to be connected to Earth. We've had the sadness this weekend of the passing of the Duke of Edinburgh, and then last week the sadness here locally, the family, the doctor's family, and sorry, I've forgotten his name, his wife, two air conditioning engineers, and a whole group of people that were taken from the earth quickly. Those folks, while they are transitioning into spirit world, no longer of the body, no longer of flesh, are still wanting to be in touch. The tough part, I think, for earthly spirits who are still embodied in a body is there's this feeling of loss other than the feeling of transformation. And just as Mary Magdalene and other mourners went to the gravesite of Jesus and realized on Easter Sunday that, he had ascended, he had gone on into another existence. That story that is repeated annually in celebrations of Christianity and, of course, Catholicism really is about a rebirthing of the transformation of this spirit that comes or that is or that lives within every single one of us. Yes, there is the physical feeling and emotion of loss, great loss. I'm not here to tell you or anybody else not to feel sadness. I read yesterday that Princess Anne said in a Instagram post, I can't believe this Princess Royal, who was always so very anti-press, has taken charge of her own social media and taken to learning the digital age of connection. And she said, while we all know the death is coming, the leaving of the earth, the saying goodbye to the identity of who we were and the relationships that we had in the physical form, we're never really prepared. I don't think she used those words about physical form and spirit. I think while she might believe that privately, publicly, she may be seen a little differently. Anyway, I digress. All that to say, I want all of you, all of us, all of you to remember that the one thing that binds everyone, whether you're in death or whether you're in life or whether you're whatever, is the feeling of love, unconditional love. The ego, the part that wants to point fingers and blame, is really an earthly human behavior that gets involved when that one thing that we don't pay attention to, called fear, is present. The only way to overcome any kind of fear is with the presence of love, which is why I'm so proud and happy to say that we have two amazing cards today. The Holy Spirit, to expect miracles, and I'll explain what the Holy Spirit is in a minute. And then, whoop, there you go, that's better. And hope. Hope is an angel that works with Archangel Gabriel, a very soft, loving, kind. Oh, if I do it slowly and don't rush, I get it. Love and acceptance. You know, love lives within all of us. We have the ability to love. We have the ability not to love. But it's important for all of us who came from the Spirit, who are still attached and connected to the Spirit, to realize that the Holy Spirit, which is what we are, part of the Holy Spirit, we are part of that. Just as you're part of the earth, just as you're part of your neighborhood, part of your house, part of your family, part of your extended family, part of the human race, the Holy Spirit, which is in all of us, is the defining difference between what's an illusion and what's reality. The Holy Spirit is always at play within each and every single one of us. It is the connection, it is the, what helps us to remember what's real and then how miracles occur. The Holy Spirit is the part that says, wow, that was a miracle, because you can't explain how it happened. It is the connection between the spirit world and the earth world, always working. The Holy Spirit is a bit like an internal antenna, a transmitter, a radio frequency. At the same token, there's also a radio frequency that's on the lower end of the dial. Those ratchet thoughts, where the ego comes in. When the ego takes over and our personality starts to get a bit twisted, we know it. Because before we know it, we've gone off on this tangent that we really didn't intend to go on. All I can say from my own personal experience in the last, now it's got to be 10 years or more, I've returned to this feeling that there is something at play that's greater than the physical body, an energy, an emotion, love, which is much, much bigger than fear, much, much bigger than the ties that bind us to not being able to pay rent, not being able to do certain things, those limiting thoughts that stop us all from being incredibly powerful. And I've said it time and time again, every single human, physical human, is a walking, talking, living miracle. When we start life, and I'm not going to get into when that begins, it actually takes two pieces of DNA that you cannot see with a microscope that come together miraculously, scientifically, likely in the dark, without any real knowledge, without any real ingredients other than fluid. Bodily fluid, DNA from two species, two human species, that at some point connect. And of that connection, there are hundreds of millions, oh, I got goosebumps, so here we go, the angels are talking. Hundreds of millions of cells that are also present, helping the two energies, those two cellular pieces come together. That becomes you. So the trillions of cells that are living in your body physically are at work the whole time to make sure blood's getting oxygen, pumping around your body, doing all kinds of things. all for love, all to keep us physically going, all to keep us anchored to life, to the joys of life, the blessings of life. And the miracles are all part of that. So, what hope and the Holy Spirit want you to know today through me is start to love yourself. Let that love rise up. Let that love be so abundant that any fear you ever had of perishing meaning, in my world, that you no longer exist in any way, shape, or form. Any thought of you perishing needs to go. The universe created you out of love, to be loved, and to share it and shine it in so many incredible ways. If you were to vibrate with that feeling of the greatest love of all that lives within you, and you let it become a beacon that shines out to everybody, no matter what, if we can pass that along more and more and bit by bit and piece by piece, then we don't really have to worry about the laws or people doing as they're told. You know, since I've done a lot of this angel certification work with the cards, with Hay House, in my own work, I've learned to be able to curb some of the fears, to be able to see that, okay, I don't have to really worry so much about, oh, here's this big bill. Well, the universe is just going to pay it. No, God doesn't sit here with a checkbook and write a check. And no, he doesn't sit here on the computer and send. Well, maybe in some respects he could, but just that's being a little silly. But when I lift my heart up and say things, when I bless it, when I bless the ability of receiving, the ability of giving, the ability to say, yesterday I talked about doing business with individuals, helping people become self-sufficient, helping people survive and know that they're going to survive no matter what. An exchange of vibration, an exchange of loving energy back and forth. Knowing that whenever you're buying a cake from a bakery, you're helping the bakery survive. Perhaps you're buying it for a birthday or a celebration. Then you're helping everybody, sharing everybody's joy. Everyone loves cake. My friend Maggie says the difference between a meeting and a celebration is cake. So if you know you're going to have one of those awkward conversations, take some cupcakes. Have the awkward conversation, but brace it in love. It's a lot easier to deal with when you have to say something that's not quite so pleasant. Or perhaps you perceive somebody else may take it the wrong way. And that brings me back to loving yourself. If you truly are in love with yourself, and stop denying yourself this idea that, okay, so you got a bit more jiggly bit here. I do. Oh, so, okay, so the aging process has marched all over your face. Your jowls have dropped a bit. They've been around for a long time. They've worked hard, flapping your jaw up and down. So no wonder you got them flopping about underneath your chin. It's okay. But if it makes you feel better to pull it up, to tighten it down, then it's worth doing. But only if it makes you feel better. Only if you can feel like this will get you to loving yourself more by changing, altering, enhancing your appearance. I've done it. Just mildly. Makes me feel good. That youthful feeling. Just to experience it, see what happens. Doesn't change who I am. Doesn't change what I do. Doesn't really change how I present myself to the world. Although, publicly, it is sometimes tough to be out in the public and know that there will be some folks who perhaps their marketing agenda or their business model is to put others down so they can rise up. I don't really pay attention to those kind of people. They're not of love. They're definitely of fear. And the hard work for them is to keep stirring that pot, to keep people separated, to keep that drama going. You know, it's a journey. I'd rather have a journey of love and hope, faith, knowledge, that no matter what, nothing's going to happen. And I also love the connection that I have with the other side, that, oh, I got loved ones over there that are around all the time, that are chit-chatting all the time. Yeah, there was a time where I thought that was a bit nutty, crazy. What is my granny doing chatting to me? What does she want me to say? Why are you saying it? But then it got to be like, oh, just talking as if you're planting flowers and shrubs and trees and crazy things like that. All right, let's get on with some meditation and reading. There we go. Thank you, Azrael. I'm expecting miracles to happen this week. I don't know what they'll be, but I'm just going to be grateful for whatever they are, because it feels good. I'm going to read from the book today. And then one of my dogs is getting a haircut. Boy, does he need it. Rocco. I like to call him my woolly sheep. He's a black... there's a whole bunch of F1, BB, Liddy, whatever these... I don't know why breeders define them like that. I think that's all part of ego. He's really a mutt. He's a lot of poodle and a bit of... what do they call those? Golden Retriever. When I heard that he's part Golden Retriever, I thought, there's nothing gold about him. He's solid black. No blonde on him anywhere. Anyway, he's got this woolly coat. When the oak trees, pin oaks particularly, start to open their leaves, they're these long, stringy, moss-like things that get everywhere. Yesterday, with a high wind, oh, my house was showered in that stuff. Well, of course, he came in and he is full of it. All that muck, all that. I mean, I could brush till the cows come home and half of the yard is on my floor. But so he's going to the groomers today, and I'm going to have him cut pretty short. He loves to be outside with Emma Grace flying across, and she, of course, has a smooth coat. He's got all this woolly hair, and I'm sure when it gets wet, it's a lot of weight. I like his fur. I think it's fabulous, but he's a little too young and rambunctious to be having all that coat. All right, I'm going off topic today for some reason. We are at the 13th, right? No, 12th. I thought so. Why am I on the wrong page? It's going to be one of those days, people. I can tell. Open yourself to the wealth of the universe. We all have sources we turn to for support. We may turn to special people in our lives, family members, friends, a lover. We may turn to nature, the mountains, trees, oceans, rivers, the sun, the moon. But we no longer have to limit ourselves to just one person, one source for love, energy, comfort, or guidance. Certain people come into our lives for a short while to help us through particular times. Other people come to stay for a longer time. Sometimes we love people and are so deeply committed to them that they'll be a source of energy and love for us, and we for them, for most of our lives. That's good. That's how it should be. But while it's good to have people who are special and sources of support for us, allowing one person to be our special support can mean trouble. Oof. We may begin to drain that person. We may become overly dependent. He or she may move away from us. Or we may become angry as we usually do, at whomever or whatever we are dependent on. For many reasons, we find ourselves in conflict with one we have deemed our source. Something may happen that causes our source to no longer be available to us. It's important to be conscious of what our needs are and to get our needs met. But it's also important not to make one person responsible for doing that. Open to a larger, more abundant source. That source is God. And God's supply is the universe. When we look to God and the universe, we open ourselves to a never-ending supply of what we need: love, energy, teaching, support, information, guidance, and nurturing. Some people and places may help us along our way, but God is our source for love. That's quite astonishing to me, that's what I walked in here to talk about today, was love. That's my theme for the whole year, is love. Coming from it, shining it out, encouraging others to do it. And then through it, I think I found a relationship with God, the universe, the source, that has been there all the time, underneath the dust of doubt, underneath the fuzziness of fear. And it's taken this, my chatting with you and doing this every day, to open that wide up. You know, when I started my journey in yoga in 2007 or 8, I thought it was just getting sweaty with a rubber mat on the floor. I tried lots of other things, wasn't working. I was still fluffy, heavy. And then something occurred as I'm practicing the yoga. How is this rubber mat and these poses doing more than just physically transforming? And I spent years trying to figure that out, trying to go to external sources, taking course upon course upon course upon course upon course. And the whole way along, it kept running around back to that same thing: accepting the self, accepting the truth. Who I am is who I am. I can't be anybody else because they're already taken. I can't pretend to be anybody else because that's not me. And then I wonder, well, you know, when we are raised, I was contemplating this yesterday, in a world and a society that doesn't accept you for who you are. And I can talk about any group of people who have been marginalized. We can start with women, doesn't matter what color they are, they're marginalized. We can then spread out into the different cultures that have found their way to America. And then we can find all kinds of reasons why one group of people have not liked another group of people. And those people, if it happens young enough, as it did in my case, believe because they trust the people that told them what they are was not right. Who they are should not exist. And on and on and on it goes, to where that ability to love others and trust others is really difficult, because it always comes with this feeling that at some point or another, that person is going to let us down and that person's not going to be there. You know, it doesn't matter whether you are a person of color, a gay, doesn't really matter. You're a person, you're a human being. that there are some groups of people in some societies that can hold hands in the street, that can greet each other publicly with a kiss like, hello, it's good to see you. Yet to other people, that's not right. They shouldn't be doing it. And this is where my connection to being who I am and sharing what I do, including all of this, had to come from a place of struggle, challenge, turmoil, difficulty, to either stand up and say, well, you know what, it doesn't really matter what other people think. What I think, and the reason I'm here, matters most. So for those of you, I spoke yesterday about confidence. I didn't speak about it. I found a video about confidence. Who don't really have a lot of confidence, or who feel maybe that they're not seen or heard or even loved by a special person, or what that looks like. If you're truly connected to that greater source, the source that put the two pieces of DNA together, that made you, that created you, that put you on the planet, you got to quickly get in touch with whatever that power was, whatever that source was, and plug that in. Because there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you have a voice. There's a reason why you've got something that you have to do. And it certainly wasn't to be abused, or to be marginalized, or to be told that you can't because look. And to that, I would say, for someone else to tell you that you can't, or that you shouldn't, or that you aren't good enough, whatever that is, that's a nerve. You get that. If it doesn't come with a bit of feedback, if it doesn't come with a bit of hope, if it doesn't come with a little nugget that says, it's good, here's how I think it could be better, you try it on and see how you feel. That's great feedback. It's an insight. It's investing in you and your life and what happens to you next. It isn't slapping you down. All right, my loves, let's go and do some meditation. And I don't know how the message is going to come today. I think it was coming as I was talking, but we'll see. Feet flat on the floor as usual. Get comfortable. Be mindful of where you are physically. Oh, okay. Big breath in. Release it out. Just bring your mind down to the soles of your feet, the love and the support that you have from the Mother Earth, the planet, the nurturing, grounding feeling that all your fears and all your anxiety, frustrations, worry are just melting down through the floor. Being recycled, regenerated. Let your source of fear become the fuel that transforms into the bright light spirit of love. And as your mind settles into more relaxation, releases more of the mental, emotional toxins, that cleans away every cell of your body that is working so hard. You'll now, mind, focus on the crown of your head, the halo around your head. Think of an opening at the top of your head where light shines down. We'll do our prayer of protection. Thank you, Archangel Michael, and all the ascended masters, for cutting the ties and removing the binds to people, places, situations, stories, drama, nonsense, and all the other rubbish that I no longer need or no longer serves my purpose. And thank you so much for cutting those ties and removing those binds right now. So be it, so shall it be. I declare that I am safe and I am free. You can bring your hands to your belly and your heart. Put the light of love and protection around you by declaring, I am the keeper of my mind and my body, wherever love and light, joy, confidence, power is, fear is a stranger. Love is here, light is here, confidence is here. I am light, I am joy, I am confident, and I am loved. Find that sense of gratitude, what you're grateful for. Allow the life force and the life source of heaven to pulsate through you, around you, about you, above you and below you, in all directions. For your whole entire being filling up with the golden light, loving light. Let the Holy Spirit vibrate inside of you, coming from your heart chakra, going into your throat chakra, speaking words that elevate, motivate, lift and empower other people. Become the shining example that you were created to be. Now we give gratitude to our angels. Thank you, angels, archangels, ascended masters. Lighted spirits from the highest realms of the universe, thank you for reminding us that you're here. Thank you for revealing to me what I need to know. I'm willing to listen, to receive, and to share. So be it, so shall it be. wondering about what's coming next. Just sit quietly. Just sit with your breath. Love, the energy of love, is just very simple. It is very basic. There is no other vibration more powerful than that feeling of love. It is the essence, energy, and vibration that goes without words, that is understood without being said. Yet so many in the human form that come into the world from love very quickly forget it. The human experience creates expectations. Expectations are literally demands. The expectations that create the issues of possessions, of greed, of gluttony, of disappointment, all come from the other four-letter word that also begins with F, known as fear. Other humans teach this fear. An adult teaches the child, if you don't eat all of that, you won't get any more. An adult teaches a child, we can't afford it. That's too expensive. You'll have to go without. An adult teaches a child how to hate. Don't play with those people. Come away from those people. As children, which we all are children, all of you are children in bigger bodies with longer lifespans on the earth, there becomes a point of trust. Another word for trust is called a teenager. The teenager grows and matures, discovers different experiences that they once believed was a certain way, and now they believe it is not. when it comes to love, a teenager, no longer a child, not quite an adult, has the feelings of lust, the need to want to exchange that love with another human being. The caring begins, the nurturing begins, the all familiar dance of love starts. The awkwardness that it's not reciprocated. The secret is knowing the ability to love no matter what, without an expectation of reciprocation. In this human world, the Spirit spontaneously says, through the human experience to another human, I love you. And at the same time, the ego wants to hear it back. The ego does not exist in the present moment, it only exists as part of the past, or an over emphasis on the future. Doesn't exist right now. Do and say and experience and let it go. My message, part of the Miriams today, is to tell you that every time you breathe in, remember to breathe in love, whatever color, energy, stance, circum, whatever that looks like for you. Know the love's coming from the divine. It is endless. It flows to you and through you in all directions. The more you breathe in with every inhale, the more there will be to breathe out and release, let go, give to others. There is no bill at the end of the month for how much love you're able to share. There is no portal where you go back and fill up, because there is no emptying. Energy, whether you want to call it money, love, anything, is an energy, a vibration. You are energy, you are vibration. Begin to vibrate. With that feeling of love and light, your earth needs it. Other people need it. This is your way of serving your brethren. You don't have to buy expensive gifts, go out and spend a lot of money. Just a simple smile and a hello. You see someone struggling to put groceries in their car, go, excuse me, may I help you? You look like you need some help. Just a smile, and the way you carry yourself, your energy is lifted. the Holy Spirit will be rising through you and around you and will let the other people know that they can trust you. Now it's time for me to go. Much love to you all. Bring your hands to prayer at your heart center. Be grateful to yourself and honor yourself for starting this day, this week, with such a powerful feeling of love. Consider putting loving food into your body. Consider doing loving things for yourself. Consider random acts of love and kindness to being complete strangers. See what happens. Let's lift our thumb knuckles to our third eye center. Together we bow and say namaste. Wow. That Miriam energy is getting more and more easier. Just like it's more and then it's hard to explain. All right. Have a great day. I love you and I will see you in the morning. Bye.